Bonjour à toutes et tous, vous écoutez First Print, votre podcast comics préféré pour une nouvelle émission du format Super Friends. C'est le format dans lequel on va à la rencontre des personnes qui font vivre la pop culture et la culture comics par leur travail. Et vous le savez, on adore accueillir des invités, des artistes, mais on aime surtout les réaccueillir pour pouvoir suivre leur carrière. Et donc dans cette émission, on sera ravis d'avoir avec nous Filipe Andrade, dont on avait vraiment salué le travail sur Toutes les morts de Laila Starr il y a quelques années, qui est donc de retour en ce moment. On enregistre en plein festival d'Angoulême pour le Dernier Festin de Rubin, une nouvelle collaboration avec Ramvé. Donc on va faire l'interview en anglais parce que on a envie de la faire en anglais, que c'est mieux comme ça. Le générique se lance et puis on se retrouve tout de suite après avec Filipe. So like I said, we are going to speak English if you don't mind, and I'd prefer like that. How have you been doing since the last time we spoke, Filipe? Welcome. So just speak in the microphone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Really good. Bonjour Arnaud. Really good. Yeah. And you?
I've been quite all right. I've been doing tremendous amount of work, doing a lot of interviews, but we're not here to speak about me. Because, you know, the people that are listening to this podcast, they hear me all the time.
All the time. Yeah. They're tired.
Yeah, they're quite tired. So, I wanted to ask, because we are going to speak about I don't even Ray Flavors.
No, we can say le dernier festin de Rubin. Only to have the same. Always the same name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's.
But I wanted to know how much time was it before you finished Laila Starr and you tried and you started Rubin, and was it almost like immediately, or were you doing side projects between the two? I really want to.
In between, I've done Swan Songs. It's an anthology. A book with Maxwell Prince and 5 other artists, and the book did well. It's still doing its journey, and the book is about the end of something. So it's the end of a sentence, one issue. The other issue is the end of a marriage. Mine was the end of the end. So it's like the new beginning, basically, Genesis. And I've done that, but I've rested a lot, and I've done a lot of promo with Laila Starr. Yeah. So basically, I would say maybe 1 year and a half in between projects, which I think is healthy to do it like that, you know. Because
but was it something that you were used to? Because
no. But I didn't work like in long-term projects like this one. I worked like issue by issue to Marvel, and sometimes I was working like in projects with 5 issues or 3 issues. But the rhythm is different because you don't put that much effort in the beginning of the projects. So there is no the only room to work on American projects like superhero stuff. You have like 1 week to try new things or try to do a repérage, this kind of stuff. And in projects like Laila Starr or Red Flavors, you need some months in advance to prepare all the layouts, all the repérage, all the documents aside that you'll need to use. For example, here on Rare Flavors, we have all the question with the food. So I had to search a lot of food markets, a lot of the local veggies and this kind of stuff. So in terms of working, it's kind of the same, but in terms of preparation, it's completely different. So I prefer to do a project like this where I start the project slow, kinda, and then I go to the production part instead of working issue by issue that I don't have time to do the things, you know. So
do you think it's also because you have the freedom to do that kind of to take that time, because time is precious, and you know I mean you're an artist, you also have to live. and producing issues and selling issues is or how you make a living. So
Exactly.
It seems to me that there is some kind of freedom that not many artists can take. This time to prepare.
Yeah, but it's a way to it's not right away. I've been doing this almost 20 years, so it's like learning process of what you want to do and how you want to do. And I find that this timing works better for me and the projects where I'm working on. So I prefer make less money, but what I do probably will give me
More satisfaction.
And if I'm more satisfied, probably the project will
do better.
Will work better. And in the end, is an investment that I will recoup in the future in terms of money, even selling the pages or doing promotion and building new audiences and stuff like that. So I think it's there is a period in terms of career where you have like a little gap to do this kind of projects, where you can take more time or to invest in a project that you'll start recoup money in 2 years. But when it does well, you're satisfied, the customers are satisfied, or the readers are satisfied, the editors are satisfied, you promote the book. So it's a different angle on, it's like more literature.
Mm-hmm.
So you work on something, you dedicate yourself, you disappear, and then you show up with a book, and the book does his journey. Yeah.
Okay. So at what point did RemV contact you for this new project?
This new project, we talked the first time in San Diego, 2022.
Okay.
Was a bit ago when we went for the awards.
Mm-hmm.
And after we didn't
just
win,
mentioning the award like that.
Yeah, no, but I will tell you after this. After we didn't win anything, we went for drinks, and Rem just popped this idea with Eric to me, like, RemV has this idea about comics about Indian food, and we would like to pitch you. Let's do. And I was like, yeah. I love food. I love India. So
who doesn't love food?
No, there are people that are not curious with it. But I'm really, really curious with all the things that surrounds, not just the food, but
what it tells about societies and cultures and people.
Like sociology around the act of being on a table, for example. And that was the first take on this project. But at the same time, I said yes. I'm curious with it. But on the fly home, I was like, I said yes to something that I really didn't understand at all. Like, what is the take on food, Indian food, on a comic? I've never seen this before.
Yeah, especially in an American comic.
In American comics industry, and but I trust Ram, and after it went well, yeah.
And I guess that speaking about food, that maybe you're a fan of a documentary series like Chef's Table and, mm-hmm. and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did something that you watched or you rewatched to? Because how do you draw food to make it interesting?
I didn't rewatch to make the book, but I've rewatched before the book a lot of times. Because I love some episodes in particular in Chef's Table. And once in a while, because I get inspired with it, I go back and I watch. And but for this, the take wasn't Chef's Table style of presenting food or whatever, because it is more like street food or mama's food, comfort food. So it's more about the quality of the produces. So I went straight for the magazines of food and menus, French, from the 70s and the 50s in England. Also, it is this kind of this was the way of try to portray the food, like magazines from the 50s and the 70s and stuff like that.
So you said before that it took nearly a year of preparations.
Half a year
to do this preparation. Mm-hmm. So what was it?
The preparation involved a lot the creation of the characters, the environment of the characters, because there is a lot of characters in here that I had to create. It was not like Laila Starr. There were like 3-4 characters here. It's like main characters like 4, but each chapter has like 2 or 3 characters. So is this thing? And in terms of architecture and landscape, and this is more challenging because it takes place in market. Drawing a market is a nightmare, and people in the market is another nightmare.
You don't like drawing crowd scenes?
Nobody does. I mean,
you'd be surprised.
Probably. I mean, I always put the camera a little bit low. That's why you need to draw less people. You just draw heads, but sometimes you need to put the camera up. And I mean, when you're drawing a project like this, these kind of pages, sometimes it's a nightmare. Like it's the second or the 3rd chapter is in a market,
crowded market, yeah.
Crowded market. All the panels, because the way that I draw, I like to do it like a little bit of cinema. So I draw everything surrounding. So I had to draw people, Indian people that dress differently, behave differently. Even if it's really abstract, the behavior is there. So I had to watch a lot of movies, Indian movies, Indian podcasts that takes place in the street, just to see how people put their hands, how they are, this kind of stuff.
The body language also.
Body language, which is completely different there.
From us also.
Yeah. So this took me a while also. This is part of preparation as well.
Because I guess the goal was really to, because you're depicting a story that takes place in India, to really not show false representations or false ideas about what we European can think about what India is.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, my goal is that you don't feel there is a Western guy trying to portray India. I just want you to feel that is India, and that's it.
But this is something that you actually already did, kind of, with Laila Starr. It took place. So what were the differences?
The difference is that for me is Laila Starr show places in India, a little bit of the local culture, but it's more about the character, and the landscape is just the place where the action takes place. Sorry for the sentence. Here is more about the deep culture of, like I was telling you, how the people sit, how the people eat, how the people talk when they eat, what they talk. Is these little things that are really challenging, because from place to place behaviors change. In India, such an old country with old behaviors, and the food is really old as well, the recipes. This is even more challenging, because you want to do it right. And I think Rare Flavors, or the Dernier Festin de Rubin, is more challenging in these terms than Laila Starr. Laila Starr is more typical for what I did before. Here is more, sometimes it's just a guy with a pen frying rice. This is not sexy to portray. You need to make it sexy or interesting or valuable for the story. So I had to see a lot of things to arrive.
Did you did a lot of tryouts or so?
Watched more. Watched a lot of movies, a lot of interviews with people, podcasts, like I was telling you, videocasts with people showing street food, but in Indian, on YouTube and stuff like that. And thank God for internet. yeah. Otherwise, this kind of project will be impossible. But
you could take a month to travel.
Exactly. If the world was perfect, I would go with the storyline, and I would be there like 2 months to take all the repérage and drawing all the locals' behavior, films, and all that. And all that material would help me a lot to build a structure for the book. We are not living in a perfect world, so I had to work with my memory from when I was there, the help of Ramvi, and all my knowledge of the cuisine and the table,
Because I guess that Ram gave you advices maybe while you were doing this kind of researches to show. Was it more back and forth exchanges during all the projects or just at the beginning?
No. We always talk before each chapter, so it works like he sends the chapter to the editor. The editor sends the chapter to me. I talk with Ram about the chapter. We take some notes. I tell him what's my goal with it. He tells me, yeah, it's good or not, or we exchange opinions, and then I do the layouts. And Eric and Ram talk about it if there is something off, and then I ask him during the process like little things here and there. Sometimes just WhatsApp, or we talk on the phone when it's something like more important to the issue. But always back and forth. Otherwise, it's impossible. A project like this,
yeah. We have to speak about the design of Rubin. Mm-hmm. Amazing design.
Thank you.
This gigantic man, both scary and not so scary,
friendly,
because he is
scary.
and friendly. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, so the original idea from Ram was to have somebody a little bit more classy, like a taller guy with bolder shoulders, like more monstrous, more psychological monster, you know. But I wanted to do like this friendly character in a way. And after some research, I've came with the idea of the beginning of the construction of the character was this Portuguese artist. His name is Cabrita Reis. Kind of old, like 60s, something, 70s. And he's like this guy, bigger than life, always talking with the presence and talks like this with his voice. And no, you need to understand when talk about art. Is this kind of behavior, but in a friendly way, and always smoke a big cigar as well. Always drinking, you know, like in Roman times. Is this guy that you can see that this guy stays on table forever, and food is being poured to him, you know. So I wanted to have that, but at the same time, the friendly gestures and aggressive gestures. So it was kind of difficult. So this round character, like Kingpin,
Kingpin, like
a little bit, but with a friendly face, really well dressed. Not well dressed like you would go to
a party, a fancy party.
No, but well dressed, somebody that understands the value of life. You know, like the bon goût. So that was the take, and a little bit with the style of the character of Porco Rosso as well. Those tones, like I wanted to give calm tones. I didn't want to give like aggressive tones. That's why the way he dresses is always like with calm tones, yellows, greens, not vibrant, because the landscape around it will vibrate a lot. So this was the construction of the character.
Did it take a lot of time? Did you have to do many designs, or was it easy to find the right one when you had your idea in mind?
I found the right kind of like 90% of it or 80% of it. I found it right away. But then the little things was like a month and a half, 2 months to redefine. Like he has a mustache, he doesn't have a mustache. The mustache kind of covers a little bit the monstrosity of the mouth that is really big and is loud, and so I wanted to cover him a little bit. The glasses that you don't see the eyes, so it's more mysterious as well. The chapeau, the hat, a little bit as well. If it has a feather, if it's too fancy or it's not too fancy. I don't want to exaggerate it, but I wanted to give like little simple design. But that simplicity was took me a while to arrive in there. But 80% of the character was right away. Yeah.
And this might be another question, but when you have got a character which is this big compared to all the others, does it have also an impact on the structure of your panels, of how you just do the panel?
Here a lot. Yeah, you have to play a lot with in terms of layout and camera, because sometimes they were speaking and he's really big. So he occupies the whole panel. Sometimes I had to play with the shadow of the two characters, just with the balloon on top of it, so you know is the character is speaking, and by the silhouette you understand who it is. Or like play with the mirrors, just to present, like in the beginning they are in a cafe, and I do it a little bit like that. So I have to play a little bit with it, and sometimes use the volume of Rubin to reveal his true personality of get out of the way, so yeah, you play with it.
So there's a very particular aspect also of Rubin, is that he eats people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also a comic book about cannibalism in some way. And my friend that's not here, Corentin, was a little bit uneased by the
really?
fact that he something was off when he read that, and I wanted to know if how do you work with a character which is quite monstrous, but you also have to make him a little bit sympathetic, I guess.
It's just the little things, I don't see Rubin as a monstrous. I see somebody that is on this path to understand himself. That's the way that I see the character. So by him eating people, I don't see him really eating the character. I see the behavior and what he wants to achieve with it. So I don't see him as a cannibalism. It's like a metaphor for me. It's like more a metaphor than a real thing that happened, because actually we don't show almost nothing about it. That's not the question. The question here is just how somebody that has this background has the guts to cure himself in a way that his instincts are turned down by another instincts that come up, like the cuisine and serve the others and stuff like that.
And because of the subject of the cooking and food, it's quite a story which is quite calm, even though there's some aspect of a thriller with the detectives. But and I wanted to know also if you chose your colors to set this quite calm mood during all the issues. How did you approach that?
Yeah, I wanted to do something so the food is the star, so everything surrounding is more calm. Just the food is the more vibrant thing that shows up in the comic. So, and in the story. So the goal was that is to do calm things where the characters kind of reveal themselves, but especially what we are serving here is the food. So everything resonates with this way of build from stage one. I don't know if you understand that.
And did you take a naturalistic approach also for the landscapes? Did you get pictures of these landscapes and try to mimic reality? Because sometimes you can also just use colors also just to be a little more surreal, especially with a character which is not technically human.
The landscape, I knew most of the landscape where the story takes place because I was there, like Rajasthan, for example. Or Mumbai or New Delhi. So I kind of knew, but for example, for the situation of the market, I had to go really into that market because the market that exists. So I wanted to do something like with that. But a part of that is just a little bit of a sensation of the field. I don't want to, I work with the photograph, but I do a sketch with a photograph, but I don't look to a photograph to draw in a comic. I don't want to do that. Otherwise, it looks weird. It looks too realistic. I don't want to do realistic things. I want to do like a magic realism in a way. So you build your world. I don't want to give everything.
But it seems to me that you change a little bit your style of drawing or your line on this project, especially compared to Laila Starr. So what did you do technically? Is it self-conscious or?
Yeah, totally. Okay. And
what was the aim? And what was the aim also?
The aim we did was if Laila Starr is better drawing.
It's more, say your line is looser on
exactly. Here is like
less precise.
It's more loose. Yes. It's like I don't put too much pressure on the pen because I wanted the line to be more vibrant. If I control it too much, it kind of, you destroy. And was one thing in particular that I can reveal to you. I play tennis and I have a coach. And once he was giving a class to us. I have another colleagues when I train. And he asked us to go to the net where he puts the balls. He's like, he's this kind of coach, old school, of asking questions where you don't have oxygen on your brain, so you're like a little bit lost. But he said something in that day in particular that changed the way that I've drawn red flavor. So it really resonates with me. And the story is, he asked us if what do we think when Usain Bolt crosses the finish line? Is he calm or is he nervous? And some people were saying calm, others were saying nervous. And it was like, he's calm because he was the first sportsman to arrive to a conclusion that in order to achieve 100%, you can't give 100% because you need to have the muscles loose. So the maximum you can do is 90% of your effort. So there is you need to go with the sensation that you don't give it all. You need to save a little bit because that buffer will allow you to be more fluid. And for me, it was like, yeah, this is the thing that I want to do with the red flavors, is more loose. So the things breathe more, because we're talking about food sensation and other senses. Is not just the visually treat. I wanted you feel the smoke of the food and add some reaction to it. So this style kind of comes from that direction of not drawing precisely the things, but suggesting more the things.
And so how does it manifest concretely? Like, do you just loosen up a little bit of your pen, or?
In terms of a practical thing is that I don't put that much pressure in the tip of my fingers. I lose it a little bit, like drawing a nose. You can draw a nose really precise, like comics, American comics, like from the beginning of the millennial, like really precise, well done, like this with the style. But I draw like a little bit more like a printing machine almost. Like the pen is on top, is vertical to the page, okay. And I go, and that's it. If it's not well drawn, I paint it in white on top of it, or I redraw. I don't care. Okay. It's okay for me.
So this is quite, and we mentioned it before, that the subject of the book, what the book is about, is quite odd for the American comics industry. Mm-hmm. We don't see a lot of that kind of books usually. And when we see the French version, it really seems to me that it could have been a project made for directly for the European market. Was it something that you envisioned at some point with Ram, or not? Because Eric was already at Boot Studios, so I guess.
No, original. The project was thought to have success in United States, but yes, I totally agree. This is for markets that understand more the value of what we are telling here. That is not about cannibalism. It's not about violence. It's not about blood. That is just a little thing to help building the story, and the motor, the mojo that we want to achieve. But we kind of knew almost from the beginning that it will end being published in France. So Laila Starr kind of opened that momentum, and we took advantage of it. But yes, this could be a project straight from European market.
Yeah. And is it frustrating, for example, when you see this kind of big hardcover books, to have also, your work reduced in print for the single issues? Because sometimes it's really striking the difference you can have. And I know that some artists don't like that.
I'm used to it because I work for mainly for American market, so I'm used to the reducing of the.
So you don't mind anymore?
No, I prefer the French version, no doubt about it, because it breathes more. You have more time per page because you read better the drawings, you read better the scenes, you read better the words. So, in terms of user experience, is much better the French version. At the same time, the American version is the market is over there, so you need to kind of play with it as well. But,
so my last question would be: when are you doing? When will you be doing something directly for the EU appearance?
Maybe sooner than later. I don't know. Now I'm not putting too much pressure on that, but I'm sure that Europe offers really good. And now that I'm kind of building a name in Europe as well, it's in terms of investment from the house of editions. I'm sure it's like a not a surprising name to invite for a project or something like that. It's not something out of the blue, because I have 2 books already that sold well in different markets in Europe. So now the bridge is done. But before, I used to work for America for almost 10 years and couldn't get in the French market because they couldn't understand that I could do something
something else,
and I always was like this commercial of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Do you know where he goes like with the legs like this? So I was in between the 2 trucks. I was a little bit like that for a while.
Yeah, not mainstream enough for the Americans, but not early enough for your friends.
Exactly. And and sometimes in US they were like, we are not sure you can draw Hulk. Like, like the thing is about the art is that. And in Europe, sometimes I felt like, no, you think you're too American for our market. So yeah, but it takes a while. It's like being bilang. It's like takes more time to speak. But once you achieve the way you can speak, you speak 2 languages. So I feel that I have my own language that kind of goes well in American market and now probably in the French market as well.
All right, we'll be looking forward to your next project then. Thank you so much, Filipe. It's been such a pleasure to speak with you again.
Thank you, Arnaud.